Coach Rob Carter Show brought to you by Stop and Shop Auto Sales in Sylacauga. And Coach Carter, it seemed like we just started yesterday. It's been a long season, but it's done now. And I guess we saved the best for last for an opponent with the top quarterback in the state.
Right, you got to see records broken, and unfortunately he broke one against us. But he's a great young man, and I hope he has, does well in the future and in his future. But it was a pleasure, in a way, to play against such a good athlete and a good player.
Yeah, he can throw and run, and his looks, speed, and moves are very deceiving.
They are. I mean, you really got to witness it to know his value and his worth and his abilities and, the appearance-wise. And that may be slowing him up some of his recruiting, but, they base so much on height.
Yeah.
So much on this, not that you're a good football player, a great football player, and a winner. But somebody will get a good one.
Yeah, the Aggies get out to a quick start, however, Friday night.
We did. It was good to see. We kind of did some things a little bit different, but I thought, we had gotten better over a week. I know we had, because we had gone one way majority, putting offensively pretty much young guys that are all coming back and got their experience there. We were able to jump out and got a good kickoff return, a good stop, and then we turn around and then make a good play. And Q Swain, a good throw, and makes a good catch and get in the end zone, and it felt good.
Yeah, Q Swain had a pretty good football game.
He did. We want him to have even better. We know he's got that type of potential, but we were able to find him, and two different quarterbacks found him. So that was it was good to see Connor Twyman come in there and maybe be a bright spot in that area of a different type skill coming into the quarterback position, and got him the ball, but Q went up and took the ball away and got up in that air, and that height and that ability, we were just able to hang it up there and him, take control of the ball.
It seemed like the teams that Sylacauga has faced this year has got, multiple players that can hurt you. This number 21, I forgot his name, but he's a wide receiver for Piedmont, and he's going to be a good one. He's just a sophomore too.
He is. He's about the same height and stature of Swain. A little bit thinner, but he's, of course, like I said, he's a sophomore, so he's going to grow in the size and the strength. But a really good explosive player for him. And of course, when you got Jack Hayes throwing the ball on the money and found him, but he's going to be something to deal with too in that classification for a while.
Look at, we're a week past now the regular season finale. What are some good things that came from this Aggie squad in 2022, including the Piedmont game?
Yeah, I mean, look at who we faced. Look at the challenges. We didn't care after a while who it was. We knew they were really good teams. Yeah. I didn't have to hear in the locker room, oh, we're playing so-and-so, being intimidated.
They were used to it, weren't they?
That's right. I mean, you got to get that way. Hey, we're going to put our pads on. We're going to go out there and we'll give them all we can give them. And that's the attitude. I mean, you don't understand how important that is to growth. If you know we're going to line up against anybody and where I got to be to match those competitors, versus playing somebody that, your ones are out in the first quarter, second half, and then when you get into the playoffs, comes an issue who you play. But personality, attitude, character, closeness. I mean, you get in a season like this, everybody's pointing fingers. Everybody's trying to find that goat,
Sure.
the problem, and you know what? The team's got to stick together. They showed up every Monday. We said that here, weekly, ready to compete the next week or the next opponent and continue to get better. When guys are going, why ain't they quitting? Because they're losing. That was the mentality of what was around them. But they stood together. They worked hard. They understood the challenges. No, we're not accepting losing ever. But we didn't lose in the sense that nobody made us quit. Right. You're going to have to go out there and beat us with your best. And to play 9 teams in the playoffs, 6 of the 9 are hosting. So that tells you they were first or second in the region. Records, I think, was somewhere around 75-22 or 76-22. That was the records for our opponents. So proud of the fact that when we watch this coming Friday, that 9 of those teams, lined up in front of us and some good athletes. So I just think personality and attitude of the program in the right direction. We don't care who you are. We will never say a name and be intimidated before we ever step on the field. We know what we got to do.
You're not afraid that the buck stops at your door?
No, absolutely. you know, we've got to grow this program. There's no doubt. I want to match. You know, I'm gonna learn from Nick Saban, one of the best. I'm gonna learn from some of the best programs out there. How do these teams? How are they so successful? How do they continue to be better than mediocre, but they're winning championships or making it there? You know, we're gonna go beyond that and try to see and try to meet those. You know what those guys do to be successful.
Senior group was rather small this year, and they played their final game, including your own son.
That's right, and that was, you know, that's tough. Mine is, okay, now I got to go out on that field. He's been beside me from ball boy up.
Yeah.
You know, this will be next year, wherever, you know, he's going to go. He's not going to be with me, you know, and I'm so used to it. So that was going to be missed. You know, may keep him close and come on back and help out a little bit. But, you know, it was great to see that group. Man, that group started a really good fellowship program with Chris Thylacker helping us there, you know, with leadership, character development, all those things we needed from the year before, and they did a great job. You know.
Now, you had, correct me if I'm wrong, but an exchange student that kicked an extra point
That's
the other
right.
night?
You saw him kick the extra point. He got a kickoff in the first game against Tallahassee at the last, and then I'm going to tell you, Ethan Pruitt was probably the one that threw him in there, and Coach Strickland does our coach. He goes, "Oh, you don't mind?" I goes, "Heck no, Wayne, you've done it before, you know." And that was probably, I know, a highlight for his entire life and probably for his community.
The kids loved it, I know that.
The kids loved it. They love him at the school, so you heard that big cheer, and it's always good to see a young man get an opportunity, especially a foreign exchange student.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of smiles and cheers about that. So where do we go next?
Well, I mean, we start in the weight room. I mean, we've got to get our kids back strong. Now, we share a lot of athletes, which is great. I'd like to share a lot more athletes, but, you know, that's those kids that will have me continuing through football. We'll work our tails off in the weight room. We got a little longer PE period with them, team PE, an hour and a half. So I have a lot longer than I've had in the past. It's usually been 30 minutes now. It's an hour and 30 minutes. So we'll get a lot of work trying to develop skills and improve.
Schedule the same next year as it is this year?
We play a 2-year schedule. You know, we're going to face, it was the year of the quarterback. A lot of quarterbacks should be gone on these teams. But hopefully they don't go out and get any, and maybe they won't develop them to be as good as this group that just left. But we'll look forward to it. I promise you, we know what's ahead of us, and the kids do too, and we'll meet it head on.
All right. Coach Rob Carter, the head football coach at Sylacauga Ag, has been a pleasure and an honor to have him on with us every week here on the Coach's Corner, and we wish you the best, and let's go Aggies and have a better off season, a better spring, and better summer and fall next year.
Yes, sir.
All
Go
right.
Aggies.
More Day Break coming up, brought to you by Stop and Shop Auto Sales.